Over the last 7 years, I have tried every kind of marketing you can possibly imagine for my business. And I have determined over that time that direct mail has been by far the most profitable marketing channel I have ever tried. And I've spent over $1 million just testing it out, figuring out what works and figuring out what doesn't. And through that time, I've been able to generate over 100 deals per year in my business using direct mail. And now I've created a very small but very powerful mini course on how I utilize direct mail in my business. It explains everything I do from A to Z, and I've made this available to you absolutely free. That's right, no charge, no obligations. Just go to my website, MikeSimmons.com/winning direct mail. MikeSimmons.com/winning direct mail to find out how you can implement my system in your business and start generating more leads through direct mail. Go check it out. It's absolutely free. I can't wait for you to try it.
So basically, we bought the house wrong. Went to the MLS, bought the house wrong. We didn't pay attention to comps. We figured since we had the house and we was going to do the house, instead of being, say the neighborhood was at 220, man, this house is going to be worth 280 when we done.
You're listening to the Just Start Real Estate Podcast. If you're serious about your real estate investing business and need real answers, you are in the right place. And now, your host, Mike Simmons.
All right, thank you for joining me on the show today. I'm excited to be here. I love the guest that I have for you today, and he is a lot of fun to talk to. We had some laughs for sure, and we also discussed some really great real estate, and that's what you're here for, right? For me to make you laugh and to teach you about real estate, so that's what we did today. Guys, if you haven't heard already, I think you heard it on the top of the show, but I have something that I've created that I'm really excited about. I'm excited enough to say it again, even though you just heard it, and I'm going to make this quick. If you go to my website, MikeSimmons.com and /winning direct mail. So MikeSimmons.com /winning direct mail. I created a 5-part video series that teaches you how I have learned to do direct mail successfully over the last 7 years and after spending over $1 million in marketing. So I've spent that money so you don't have to waste it trying to figure things out. I created a video series for you and it is completely free. You can't beat free. So go and check it out, MikeSimmons.com /winning direct mail, free course. Go get it. Okay, guys, today I have on the show someone that I had a lot of fun talking to, and I have just as much of a difficult time saying his name properly. So I asked him to say it for me so that I would know exactly, and hopefully I don't screw it up. His name is Nasar Arabi. I think I said that exactly right, so I'm not going to say it again. Nasar was a lot of fun. He is a wealth of knowledge, just doing cool stuff in real estate, and we had a fun conversation. So I give you, without any further ado, Nasar Arabi. All right, Nasar, man, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for doing this. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to talk to you.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it, man. And I appreciate you even inviting me, man. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You have a great story, and I think the audience will absolutely benefit from hearing your story and hearing what you're up to. And I just think you've got a lot of good stuff going on. So this should be a lot of fun, should be very informative. And that's exactly what I'm expecting, man. So I've heard you on other podcasts. I know you can bring it. So I'm excited to talk to you. So for the folks who haven't heard you before and they've heard a little bit about you, right? We did a little intro for you, but can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, kind of get them up to speed on who you are and what you're up to?
All right, I'm Nasar, aka the real estate guru. I'm not a guru, I'm a guru because I actually do this business. I've been involved in real estate since 2007. That's when I bought my first property, and me and my partner, we bought that to flip, right? And from us buying it to flip, watching flip those house shows, we end up losing like $7,000 a piece. Pretty much did everything wrong. Yeah, flipping ain't easy.
It can be challenging.
Yeah, so it's not easy. And then I relocated. I'm born and raised from New Jersey, North Jersey, Elizabeth, New Jersey, and born and raised, man, and relocated in 2008 to Charlotte, North Carolina. I bought a rental the traditional way, '09, bought a rental the traditional way as well. So went to go buy another one. They told me my debt to income was too high. So I thought my real estate career was over. In 2010, I found out about creative real estate investing.
Yeah.
And from finding out about creative real estate investing, I realized that you didn't need your money or your credit. So with that being said, fast forward, I got fired from my job September in 2012. That's when I got fired and been doing this business full time ever since. My highest paying job, and I do have a college degree, is $38,000. Now I have a 7-figure real estate business.
It's amazing, right? How you can go to school for 4 years or whatever to get your degree to make 10 times less than, or more than 10 times, 20 times what you could make out on your own. So let's go back for a minute. I'm curious, and I know people like to hear this kind of stuff. It may not be fun to relive, but I think it's educational. When you did that first flip and you lost $7,000 each, what fundamentally went wrong? If you looking back, what were the mistakes? Why'd you lose money?
We didn't know anything about real estate. I found out the mistake was I was reading a book, and I got into self-development late in life. I was 26 when I got into self-development. So that's probably 2009, 2010. And that's when I first started reading. Man, high school, I had a 1.8 GPA. I was there to be fly, class clown, and be popular. College, I cheated all through college. I'm one of them people that went through college. I came in dumb, left dumb. I'm one of those guys.
Dude, you know what? Listen, first of all, it's so refreshing to hear someone say I cheated all the way through college. Because I think what happens in college is you get good at being in college and whatever that takes, right? Like people, some mild form of plagiarism, or like have a friend who helps you out. Like, I think people get good at getting good grades or get good at getting through classes as opposed to necessarily learning a lot. So that's hilarious, man. That's great. I cheated.
Yeah, in mine was no mild plagiarism. This is before, now the kids, like this generation. I mean, from my understanding, I graduated college in '07, but a few years after, that's when I heard the professors in the school started implementing turnitin.com. And on turnitin.com, I was advised that you have to have the plagiarism had to be a certain percentage, or if it's not, you got to redo it. So this before that. So I was able to buy papers online, submit papers, and, not get caught. But anyway, So.
You know what? I'll bet is happening right now. People are learning how to work around the system. You know what I mean? It's still happening. They didn't eliminate plagiarism, trust me, but that's funny.
Always, yeah. So, with that being said, what we did wrong was, 2009. I found out it took me 2 years after doing it. I found out what I did wrong, which was I was reading a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and in the book he says before investing in real estate, you have to learn about real estate. Before investing in stocks, you have to learn about stocks.
Yeah.
So I put the book down. I was at my call center job at the desk. I put the book down. I said, I never learned about real estate. I never learned about it. I just did it.
Yeah.
Because it's a TV show.
Yeah.
The TV show made it seem easy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all I got to do is buy an ugly house, yell at some contractors, make a bunch of money. Why would you not choose this as a career path, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yell at some contractors. You must have been watching. There was a guy back when you're talking about, because I watched him too. I started in 08. I'm sorry, and there was a guy, Armando Montalongo.
That's what I was watching.
Me too, right? He'd roll up in that Hummer and just start yelling at people.
That's what I was watching. I figured, yo, about to give me a check.
Yeah, that's funny, man. That guy was all over the place back then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's what happened, man. Thinking I was going to get me a check. Yeah, Armando Montalongo.
Yeah.
So I knew all the characters by name, so I figured I can do it. So anyway, yeah, man, I was. So basically, we bought the house wrong. Went through the MLS, bought the house wrong. We didn't pay attention to comps. We figured since we had the house and we was going to do the house, instead of say the neighborhood was at 220, man, this house is going to be worth 280 when we done because we did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
That's sound logic, man. That's solid. People are going to look at it differently because you did it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what
funny.
We thought, that's what we figured. And contractors took advantage of us. At least he finished though, because it can get worse, but he finished. He just took forever to finish. But yeah, the contractors took advantage of us. Everybody took advantage of us. Like, so contractors took advantage of us. The realtor company, I don't know. What state are you in, man?
Michigan.
Oh, I don't think they were out in Michigan. It was a company called Foxton.
Okay.
Pre-crash.
All right.
They bought all their agents Mini Coopers, right? Like all the agents would get a Mini Cooper. So listen, all the agents, they get a Mini Cooper, and everybody was on the $40,000 salary plus commission. Everybody. Okay. So we listed with them because they were popular for like, I think it was 1.5% listings or 2% listings. They were popular for that. So we like, well, we'll save money and, do it with Foxton. They drove green and white Mini Coopers. While they had our listing, man, they went under.
Oh, no.
They went under, bro. So because if you remember in the 07 or 08, in 07, 08, that was the beginning of what we thought was bad, but it got worse. Like it would get worse every month, literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And they went under. Then another firm bought our listings from them. And that guy, he made sure he made a bunch of money. And yeah, we end up taking a loss, and
Dude, that sucks. So after that happened, I think you said the next thing you did was buy a rental, but were you guys like done with flipping? Was that like, that was fun? We're never doing that again.
Yeah, I was done with flipping because I figured this is what I figured in my mind, the market, because if the people who are not around, if you're around anywhere from 2008 to like 2012, 13, you turn on any station, stay away from real estate. Real estate goes down this. Oh my God, real estate, it was stay away, don't touch it, So we figured in our minds, it's not the market to flip. We got to buy rentals. And of course I was wrong again, but you can flip in any market cycle at any interest rate.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, when you said you were wrong, I'm like, you weren't wrong to buy rentals. That's for sure, man. The prices were great.
No, I was right then. But I didn't know I was right, but I was right then. But I'm talking about we could have been flipping.
Yeah.
All it is you just buying right, and then the first time home buyer price point.
Yeah. You know what's great, and this is good for the audience to hear. If we're in a market like that again, and I don't know if we're going to see anything as crazy as that was, but if you're in a market that's declining, you're right. The news and everyone's telling you to get out, and your thought was like, this isn't a good market, but it's so much easier to buy in those markets because everyone that you want to buy from is hearing the news too, and they're freaking out. And so it's a fire sale. They just want to dump their house. So I was flipping from 08 to 2012, and you go into houses and go, hey, did you watch the news last night? And they're like, yeah. And they can't wait to give you their house at a discount. So, you can definitely buy and sell. Real estate can be done in any market, to your point, right? It can be done in any market. So don't get too freaked out by a market like we're in now, which is super strong for the seller, or the opposite. It all works. So,
yes.
Cool. So you went into residential rentals, it sounds like. How many of those did you gobble up? How did that go for you? And I know you've kind of transitioned a little bit from there too, but what did that look like when you were buying residential rentals?
I was at my job, first job in the call center, making $10 an hour. Second one was like $12. And upon my firing, my last firing, it was like $38K a year. But anyway, I bought a rental property and for like $42,000. The mortgage was $350,000. So I rented it out for $750,000, right? And bought another one for like $80,000. The mortgage was $800,000, which back then, maybe because I was in my 20s, I was young. $800 a month was a lot of money for a house back then. So to me, and that broke even. And I went through like 3 tenants, and finally I got a tenant that they were consistent with making payments, and I never raised the rent and just let it break even and gained a buttload of equity in that house. I sold that one in 2018, picked up a check for like $100,000, 70 of it was profit. And I have up
Nice.
some. But yeah, so those are the two rentals I bought before learning about creative real estate. Now I have a much bigger portfolio, way bigger than that. But after learning about creative real estate, I also learned, and when you start to do real estate and you get better at it. So I got better at it and buying in better areas. Man, I got stuff I paid $1,000 for that I get offers constantly, like 120, 130. Wow. And I'm like, man, I don't want it. It's no need to sell it. It's cash flows incredibly, and it's in an appreciating area right in the outskirts of downtown Charlotte. So, but yeah, I got some great stuff in my rental portfolio, because even with buying rentals, man, it's best to have a strategy and a plan.
Yeah.
And not just throw rice at it. Now, everybody who threw rice at the ceiling the last few years, maybe it paid off, but these last few rentals, my portfolio now, after learning about real estate investing, was a lot more strategic than just going and get a realtor and asking, hey, you think it's a good deal? Yeah, this is a good deal. And, you know, I learned from Robert Kiyosaki that realtors are salesmen. Yeah. Stockbrokers are salesmen. Mm-hmm. You don't take their advice. You tell them what to do.
Yeah. Yep. Totally. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about creative financing, because there's two problems that are inherent, or they're not inherent, but there's two problems that people think they have all the time. Number one, finding deals. Number two, financing deals, right? It's always leads and money. So creative financing solves the money problem. But let's talk about that for a little bit. And there's a million different ways to slice and call something creative financing. What is your strategy? How do you go into a deal? What does it look like? And what are you trying to accomplish in those deals?
Okay, so me, when I try to accomplish a deal, if I'm buying it as a rental or a flip?
Rental, let's say.
Okay, if I'm buying as a rental, me personally, since I'm actually a deal finder myself, I do wholesale houses, I find deals myself. I want equity, I want cash flow, and I want potential appreciation. Yep. So I'm buying in neighborhoods that are in the path of progress. It's in the path of progress. I get a bunch of equity up. After I fix it, I want a bunch of equity. Like on the minimum, I want 40, 50, 60,000 equity. Okay. And then I got the cash flow. Yeah. So that's what I look for in a rental, is that the rule of thumb. I teach people, hey, listen, what you want to do, just appreciation is, more of a bonus. You shouldn't really count on that. Equity is a paper number, because of course I want them to play it safe. With me, with my strategy, I'm a little bit more riskier, because I have more comfort in being risky as I am in certain neighborhoods in Charlotte, because I invest locally.
Yeah. So what does the deal structure look like with the seller? What are you doing that's creative, or what's your brand of creative financing?
My creative financing, basically, I'm doing a burst strategy, but I'm not going to traditional banks. I'm doing subject to. I'm not going to say owner finance dried up around here. So it's a lot harder to get it in my market than it used to be. But subject to owner finance, other people money, refinancing. But I'm refinancing with local banks that allow me to refinance with LLCs and things like that. Yep. So for those who don't know the difference, so if you go to the bigger banks, they'll tell you, well, you're only allowed to own 10 properties. That's not necessarily true. If you go to the secondary market, the local banks, yes, your interest rate will be higher. Your terms may not be as favorable as doing it in your name. However, I own well over 10 properties.
Okay. So let's talk about, I know you talk about when you're on these types of shows, multiple exit strategies and multiple streams of income. What does that look like for you? What do you do to create this multiple streams of income and multiple exit strategies?
All right. So, that's a great question. So if you look online on social media, you'll see people, they're doing the Amazon drop shipping, they do real estate, and they also cut hair on the side. Yeah. Okay. So you just want to be in multiple streams of income. Doesn't have to be multiple industries. And a lot of those guys are just broke behind the scenes, and it's just all a facade, because in real estate, you can push up to, you can push 7, 8 figures just out of, one niche of real estate. So I don't see the purpose of just spreading myself in different industries when, I'm barely reaching all the potential that I can do here in real estate. And I actually love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. So therefore, multiple streams of income can be multiple rental properties. So if you got 5 rental properties, it's very unlikely that all 5 will be vacant at once. Maybe 1, but since you have multiple streams of income, your other 4 will probably cover that 1. With me, my multiple stream of income, I have multiple rental properties. I fix and flip properties. I don't have any new builds going on right now. I also wholesale properties every month. All right. And I just included the educational side of real estate. So and everything is within, like, real estate is the foundation. I'm not over here telling people, hey, give me $30,000 so I can start you over an Amazon dropshipping company. I'm not over there saying, hey, listen, you need to sell shirts and you don't have to keep the inventory. No, I'm over here. I'm in real estate. That's the foundation. I actually make money doing real estate. That's why I call myself a guru, because I actually do this business.
Yeah. That's huge, man. There's so many people out there giving advice and they're not even doing the business anymore. You can tell they're not doing it. Why does every investor need to be a rookie all over again? Why do you say become a rookie all over again? And what's that mean?
Yeah, the reason I say, be a rookie all over again, because sometimes you want to keep that hunger, man. When I was that hunger is like no other when you're new and you have a full of energy, but also with real estate, man, it's always learning, man. I still fail. If some days I wake up, I just want to quit. I look at myself, am I even good at this? So, and last month, man, I think I did well over, 100K, but, and last month, but I question myself sometimes, I question myself, but, you want to be a rookie because you always want to be learning. Yeah. There's so much I don't know about real estate. I've done a lot of residential real estate transactions, but I haven't done every last one, and I don't have intention to do some of those. Yeah. So, man. And with that being said, I think you should stay a rookie because you should always be learning, because there's always something to learn.
Totally. A lot of people who, especially if they've been doing this a little while, they start overthinking the business a little bit. It's not a complicated business, really. And we tell people in my company that sometimes we need to go back to like blocking and tackling, like just basics, right? Blocking and tackling. Let's just go back to what we know works and not overthink this thing. Some people make it out to be a lot more complicated. It's not easy, but it's simple. It really is. Real estate's not that complicated, but people get a little bit too crazy. Now, we've been talking about residential stuff and residential, landlord being rentals and things like that. But I think, and maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, that you are doing apartment buildings as well, or is that not true?
No, I'm not doing apartment buildings.
Okay,
no.
Not doing apartment buildings. Is that something that you're interested in? Because I always, I talk to people who do apartment buildings and they always have their reasons. I'd love to hear from you and why you're not doing them, at least right now. Like why individual houses as opposed to apartment buildings?
The deals we've been getting over the last few years, man, we're just trying to, right now, me and my team, and I do have a partner in some aspects of business, man. And, me and him were talking. It's like, man, let's beat Wall Street. Wall Street doesn't go direct to seller, or they do, but not like we can. Yeah. And with that, and what I mean by beat Wall Street now considers single family residence asset class, and that's why it's so heavily invested in real estate. But with me, right, and I have nothing against apartment buildings, nothing against it. I just been the last few years just been focused on single family residential, man, and they're so easy to offload, man. Yeah. Whereas the apartment buildings, you have to sell to another investor. Right. You have to sell to another investor. Of course, he wants a good deal. And, they have sellers and buyers market, just like the single family residence. But with single family residence, it's just for me, I just understand it so much more. I definitely want to get into apartment buildings. I just haven't done those deals yet, but that's something I definitely want to do. But, and for the people saying like, they automatically assume that you make more doing apartment buildings than single family residence. That's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
I know multiple guys who built a portfolio, big portfolios, over the last few years who've been offered, 7 and 8 figures from, and I'm not talking low 7 figures, high 7 figures and 8 figures net after, if one of these hedge funds want to buy their whole portfolio.
Right.
So yeah, man, I say that to say that, you can make a lot of money. Either one, you just got to buy right and educate yourself and do it the right way.
Yeah, completely. So you mentioned that you have a partner. Why partner? And if you don't mind, I'm assuming it's going well with your partner, but what makes a good partnership? Because a lot of people try partners and it just crashes and burns. It doesn't work for them. Something goes wrong. How did you pick your partner? And why does it work? What makes it work for you guys?
Okay, well, that's a great question, right? Because I literally and when I say partner on transactions, I don't mean like me, but me and this partner you're talking about. Yes, we do have a few entities together, but mainly as far as him, I got something that money can't buy, which is trust, right? So I got trust with him, which that's not typical. And you shouldn't, expect that from people. You shouldn't expect anything from people. Expect not to have an expectation. So, with that being said, man, I've had one bad partnership. All my other partnerships, they're mainly transactions. Mm-hmm. But I had one when we partnered on a transaction and they left me high and dry on a rehab. It was my fault. I allowed them to enter the deal with just labor and their GC license. Whereas I should have made them put up money, and I trusted, and I got burnt for it.
Yeah. So you don't. So is it okay? So am I hearing then that you don't have like a partner, like a 50-50 partner in your business? You just partner on transactions, like individual deals.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's smart. Honestly, I think a lot of people get burned because they just bring someone into 50% of their business, and then they don't hold up their end of the bargain. And then now you got someone who owns half your company. I tell people all the time, if you want to partner, like if you want to give away half your business, I think it's a mistake, but at least first do it on a transaction basis, right? And that way you do 4 or 5 of those, you kind of see what someone brings to the table, whether or not they can perform before you just bring them into your company, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You start with a transaction. You don't just bring them in your company. You start with a transaction. Then from one, like the one that went wrong, I told them, hey, listen, we're going to do this one. Then we're going to do another one. I wasn't going to jump and just start an LLC, but we couldn't get to project 1.
Yeah. And
what you'll notice, first of all, a lot of people can't keep their word, but it's easy to keep your word on week 3. But can you keep your word on 3rd month? There's no checks coming in and there's still more work to be done.
Yeah.
So that's where, things go wrong and reality sets in. So not everybody is good for keeping their word. And so they just go south a lot of times and end up in court. Yeah. I had people, my private money lenders, they partnered with me. One in particular, he partnered with me. He said, man, I don't want to do this, man. Normally partnerships end up in court. And this is a younger version of me. And I'm like, end of a court, man. No, partner with me. I'm just listening to you. And it actually turned. He made the decision of bringing the 3rd partner, which he then started to complain about the 3rd partner to me. And I'm like, yeah, well, okay, you brought that guy in, but I still have that relationship. I still have. If I wanted to partner on stuff, he still offers to partner on stuff with me because I'm easy to work with. I'm not going to be one of those. I'm not one of those people that can't hold on my end of the bargain. What do you need from me? I'll get it done, etc. So, especially when partnering with a knowledgeable guy. Hey, listen, if I got to take orders, I'll take orders. I don't have to give orders 100% of the time.
Yeah.
This is a team. Let's just win.
Right. Yeah.
But not everybody has that mentality.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with you. What does your company look like personnel-wise? Do you have a team? Do you have folks that work for you? What does that look like? What's your team look like?
Yeah, I got people that work for me. I got, right now we got 6 virtual assistants.
Okay. What do they do? What do you do with 6 virtual assistants? What are they? What's their function?
Basically, they just do the grunt work, which is one is a transaction coordinator. The other 5 are the other 5. They just do grunt work, like go cold call, text, get us the leads for the 4 acquisition managers. I got 4 acquisition managers that go out, make appointments, look at houses, lock houses up, gotcha. And we typically wholesale them.
Okay, gotcha. Well, how do you decide which ones you're going to wholesale, which ones you're going to flip or hold on to as rentals?
Basically, we just look at the deal, like the deals that's too good to be true. We learn to hold those as rentals. The deals that are home runs, we decide if it's better to flip. Depending on the scope of work, if it's better to flip or just wholesale. So
you try to keep the stuff that's a ton of work, just wholesale that out. Stuff that's easy to take down and flip, you just take those yourself. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. That's kind of what we do too. We're not trying to get into some big wholesale or some big flip projects for the most part, especially in a market like this. Like, the people you remember, the people who got really burned in like 2007, 2008, 2009, they were the ones who got into these super long projects and they got caught in the middle, right? Where their numbers in the beginning of the project, and by the end of the project, totally different, and they just kind of got burned. So in a market where we're so tippy top, we feel like we're at the top of the roller coaster a little bit, getting into a 12-month, 18-month project, that ain't happening, right? That's recipe for disaster. So, now you mentioned that you call yourself a guru. We talked about why that is, because you're doing it. What do you have going on? I know that you have something called the Guru Squad. It's on your shirt. What is that all about?
Oh, basically a Guru Squad, man. GuruSquad.com, man. It's basically my students where I educate them on how to wholesale houses, how to buy rental properties. Just break down the formula to whereas they can understand and they can do it. Because one thing, I don't want to just teach people how to wholesale, make a bunch of money and be a one-trick pony. Right. Real estate offers too many benefits and to just be a wholesaler. I want you to be an actual real estate investor and actually investing in real estate. So that's basically what we teach. And we add courses and things of that nature. Currently working on, adding buying real estate in your IRA type of thing. And it's going to be added and it is no additional charge. So it's basically like a family we're trying to build, man, and just educating people who want to make extraordinary income.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. And the big part, to me, the most biggest key here is you should always try to listen to people who are doing the business. I think that's so important. It's just like, and it's nothing against like some of these guys that have been around for 25 years, but they've been on the circuit and going to conferences and stuff, and they're not doing it anymore. They probably haven't done it since the 90s, and they're still kind of like educating the way they did 15 years ago. And the business changes a little bit, right? There's things that happen. So I'm not naming names on purpose, but I think the bottom line is if you're going to listen to somebody about real estate and investing and building your business, at the very least, listen to someone who's actively doing it, right? Who can kind of show you what's going on in their own company. So, man, listen, it's been a blast. I appreciate you doing this. It's been a lot of fun, and I just think you're up to some good stuff, and I love what you have going on, man. So thanks for doing this.
All right, man. No problem, man. Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll have links to all the stuff that we talked about, the Guru Squad, how you can get involved. We'll have links to all of that. Again, thanks for doing this, and I appreciate your time, man.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right, brother. Bye. All right, that was a lot of fun. Nasar is a blast. Just a good guy and a fun guy to talk to you, and I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation, because I did. But at any event, regardless, I need you to do me a favor. Get out there and get going. What are you waiting for? Now is the time. Don't wait for a better market. Don't wait for a worse market. Don't wait for some event to happen that's outside of your control. Go out there and take control today. Make it happen. I want today to be the best day of your professional life. Go get it. We'll talk to you next time.